All right, now we're doing 7Q, Fix My Phone Numbers. This is by Cara Lemony, and 93% of people like it. So they're glad we're here because the last intern completely ruined everything. All the customers' phone numbers have been scrambled, and the company needs those phone numbers to annoy them with endless sales calls. That's our job, isn't it? Phone numbers are stored as strings and comprise 11 digits, e.g., for example, this here. It must always start with a 0, just like this, right there. However, something strange has happened, and now all the phone numbers contain lots of random characters, white space, and some are not phone numbers at all. For example, this somehow became this, and there are lots more lines that we need to check. So the task is, given a string, we must decide whether or not it contains a valid phone number. If it does, we're going to return the corrected phone number as a string, just like this, and with no white space or special characters, or if not, we'll just say not a phone number. Okay. So we can start this off with a for loop. We can say for let I equals 0, well I is less than str.length, we'll say I++, right? And then what we want to do is say if str at I equals something that's not a number. But we can do something else because I don't like that already. We can use this isInteger static method, which determines whether the passed value is an integer. So we'll do just number.isInteger like this, and then the value inside parentheses. So let's get rid of this here and just say number.isInteger like that. And then we'll put str at I. So if it is a string, if it is a number, we're going to, let's declare a variable. Let's say let result equal empty string, okay? So we'll just say, if this is the case, we'll say result plus equals str at I, all right? Let's come down here and say console.log result to check what we got going on. Test it out. No good, no good. What's the deal? Basically, we're putting a string in here. And even though it's a string that has a digit in some of these cases, it's still not a number. So we're going to need to turn this into a number if it can be turned into a number. And so we're going to use the number constructor for that, which creates a number object, but that's useless to us. But when called instead as a function, it performs type conversion to a primitive number, which is usually more useful, and it is useful right here too. So we're going to wrap this thing up in parentheses, right like that, and in front of this one we'll say number, and that will turn this into a number. So now let's check the result. And there we go. Now we've got this going on. So we can come down here, and since that's the case, we'll just say if result.length equals 11, right? Because that's one thing about it. Where does it say 11? Right here. It comprises 11 digits. All right. So if that's the case, and it's got to start with 0 also. So and result at 0 equals 0. We're going to do we'll say return result. So if this is the case, we'll return result, and if not, we'll just return not a phone number, like that. Now let's check it. What's up with this? Let's do a console.log string to see what we got going on. Console.log, not string, but result. See what we got going on. Test it out. All right, what's up with this? Good, good. This one's bad. Where's this one? 3. 1, 2, 3. It's probably this one right here. As you see, there's a bunch of white spaces. 65, yeah. As you see, there's a bunch of white spaces, so even though a white space gets pushed into this number, it's still going to be counted as an integer, and that's not going to work for us. So in front of this if statement, let's just do another if statement, a little edge case if statement. Say if str at I equals a white space, what we're going to do is just continue. We're just going to skip right on past that. Now let's check to see if it's cool. Test it out. All right, there we go. Let's get rid of this one. Attempt it. See if it's good. And it does, it works. There's no tricks or anything, all right? But as you can see, this thing's a little bit hacky with this, and it's a little bit ugly with the shape of it and all that. We can do better than this. Let's comment this out with a slash star. Let's do control end to go to the end and do a star slash, and then do a control home. Press enter, and then we'll say const is it a num equals, we don't even need to type out str, we'll just do this, and then we'll say console.log so we can test while we go. So now let's check what s looks like, test it out. Alright, so this is that horrible number we got to take care of. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to use the replace method. And if you don't know about the replace method, it's the method that returns a new string with one sum or all matches of a pattern replaced by a replacement. The pattern can be a string or regex. We're going to be using regex. And the replacement can be a string or a function. We're going to be using a string, just an empty string. If the pattern is a string, only the first occurrence will be replaced. And there we go. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say dot replace. And the first thing we're going to do is some regex, and then the second thing is have the thing we're going to replace it with, which is going to be this empty string here. But this regex, a lot of people don't know regex, and it's kind of difficult. But what we're going to put in here to match is we're going to put in this little character class. And we're going to come down here on this character class page and look at it. There's this capital D with a slash in front of it, and it matches any character that is not a digit. All right? So what we're going to do here is put this slash and then put capital D and replace it with this. Let's see what happens first. Let's test it out. All right, well, the S is gone, but everything else is still there. You know why? Let's go over here to replace again. Only the first occurrence will be replaced. Well, we need to do it more than once. So let's go over to the regular expressions main page, come all the way down here, and we're going to throw something called the global search flag on top of it, this little G. And we're going to put the G right after this second slash, backslash, forward slash, I don't know which one it is. And that should take care of business. Let's see if all these characters that aren't digits go away. And like thus, just like that. So now that we've got this taken care of, we're going to want to figure out if it's got 11 characters and if it starts with a 0. So first things first, I don't want to type this out so many times because we're going to need to type it out a few more times. So let's just come up here, say comma after the S, after we wrap it into parentheses, say in equals, and we'll just take this and drop it off in here. All right, and then we'll just say here in. What's in look like? Remember this. What's in look like? Test it out. Same thing. Awesome. So now that we've got this in, we're going to do kind of like an if statement, but we're actually going to be using this conditional or ternary operator, which is the only JavaScript operator that takes 3 operands, a condition followed by a question mark, then an expression to execute if the condition is truthy followed by a colon, and finally the expression to execute if the condition is falsy. And this operator is frequently used as an alternative to an if-else statement. So we're going to say in, if in.length equals 11 and in at 0 equals 0 question mark, throw in out there. If not, we'll say string not a phone number. Let's do the old test, check what we got. Here's this, it wants this, looks good for now. Let's take out this console.log to see if it's really good. Test it out again. Looks good, attempt it. Alright, and submit it. Alright, so you can see here they use the replace method, but then they use the match, and I mean, match is cool if you know, really good at regex, you use it all the time, because this one basically it says this is the start. It means if at the start there's a 0, and after the 0 there's regular digits, and there's 10 of them, and then the end, if that's the pattern right there. So a 0, 10 digits, and that's it. They're going to return that or not a phone number, which is cool. I mean, whatever. But and then at this 0, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how this is going on right now. We'd have to do a whole nother what is that thing called, video for that. And then here's another way with the split filter, includes, join, and that's cool too. And you can just check out all the rest of these if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it. And we'll see you next time.